Welcome back to the Good Girl Box. I'm your host, Karen, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. In this space, we talk about breaking free from those limiting expectations that society and tradition often place on us. And today, we're diving into a crucial topic: time boundaries. Learning how to protect your time is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim your life and align it with your values. If you've ever felt like your time is constantly being pulled in a million directions, or you find yourself saying yes when you really want to say no, then this episode is for you. Let's start by talking about what time boundaries actually are. Time boundaries are the limits you set around how you spend your time, both personally and professionally. They help you prioritize what truly matters and protect your energy from being drained by activities, commitments, or people that aren't aligned with your values or goals. I think many of us, especially those who grew up feeling the pressure to be a good girl, struggle with time boundaries because we're conditioned to believe that our time belongs to others. We learn that saying yes is polite, that being always available makes us good friends, good partners, good workers. But here's the truth. Your time is yours. It's the most precious resource you have, and it's okay to protect it fiercely. Without time boundaries, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, overworked, and burnt out. When we say yes to everything, we end up having no time left for ourselves or the things that nourish our soul. And that resentment builds up because deep down, we know that we're not honoring our own needs. I want you to take a moment to think about your time right now. How much of it is spent doing things you want to do versus things you feel obligated to do? How often do you agree to a meeting, a favor, or a social event when you really just need some time to rest or focus on your own priorities? One of the biggest challenges people face when setting time boundaries is the fear of disappointing others. It can feel uncomfortable, even guilt-inducing, to say no or to let someone know that you're not available. But here's the thing, saying no isn't about rejecting the other person. It's about respecting yourself. Another challenge is recognizing when our time is being taken for granted. Maybe it's a boss who expects you to stay late without asking, or a friend who constantly shows up unannounced, expecting you to drop everything. It can be hard to identify these situations because they often come from people we care about. But the truth is, if someone truly respects you, they will respect your boundaries too. Setting time boundaries starts with getting clear about your own priorities. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me, and where do I want to invest my energy? Once you know what's important, it becomes easier to recognize when something is infringing on that time. Here are a few practical steps to help you start setting and maintaining time boundaries. 1. Practice saying no. Gracefully. You don't have to over-explain or apologize when you turn down a request. A simple, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not able to commit to that right now," is enough. Remember, no is a complete sentence. 2. Schedule time for yourself. Make self-care a non-negotiable part of your week. This could mean setting aside time for a hobby, a walk in nature, or even just 15 minutes of quiet time each morning. Put it on your calendar like you would any other important meeting, because it is. 3. Communicate your availability. If you have certain times that you need to protect, like evenings with your family or weekends off, let people know. You could say, "I don't take work calls after 6 p.m., or "I reserve Saturdays for personal time." The more you communicate these boundaries, the more others will learn to respect them. 4. Stick to your limits. It's one thing to set a boundary, it's another to follow through. If you set a boundary that you won't check work emails after a certain time, honor that commitment to yourself. The more you stick to your boundaries, the more others will respect them too. I'll admit, I haven't always been good at protecting my time. There were times in my life when I felt like I had to be everything to everyone, a supportive mom, a reliable friend, a hardworking employee, and it left me with very little time for myself. I'd say yes to helping out with things that weren't truly my responsibility, all because I didn't want to let anyone down. But over time, I realized that this wasn't sustainable. It wasn't fair to myself, and it wasn't even fair to the people around me, because I couldn't show up as my best self when I was constantly stretched thin. Learning to set time boundaries was a game changer. It allowed me to be more present in the moments that mattered and gave me the space to recharge and pursue my own passions. I want to remind you that setting time boundaries isn't about being selfish. It's about honoring your needs. When you take care of yourself, you have more energy and love to give to others. You become more intentional about how you show up in the world. It's okay to put yourself first sometimes. It's okay to protect your time. It's okay to choose how you spend your energy. And it's okay to change your mind, to adjust your boundaries as your life changes, and to let others know what you need. As we close today's episode, I hope you feel empowered to start setting those time boundaries in your life. Remember, you are not responsible for anyone else's feelings about your boundaries, only your own well-being. Every time you honor your time, you are taking a step toward living more authentically and aligning with what truly matters to you. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to leave a review, reach out to me on social media, or share this episode with a friend who might need it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode, where we'll continue exploring what it means to live outside the good girl box. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for choosing to protect your time with me. Until next time, keep trusting your voice, setting those boundaries, and honoring your truth.